from album to album. Well, that hasn't been something that was so consciously done, more in a sense that musically our tastes evolved and grew and changed, and we didn't want to stand in the same stylistic space that we'd been in with the record previously. So Eurythmics are a strange challenge to American radio stations and TV stations. I think they don't quite know what to make of us. They can't quite classify us comfortably enough to give us that kind of blanket whatever it is they give people, you know.
Well, we're really pleased anyway, because when America kind of takes you to its heart, then they think, oh great, we've got it, now we can market it like mashed potato or McDonald's.
It takes the sting out of your tail at the same time.
So, you know, when I put on MTV, which is very occasionally, I see about 10 bands that look and sound exactly alike in a row, and that's like the white section. Then we go into the black section with Paula Abdul or whatever, and they all sound the same in this kind of black urban R&B dance music. And it's just divided into those two categories. You've got, like, you know, sort of the White Snake, so those kind of heavy metal bands, and then the black sort of urban bands. And people like, I was talking to Elvis Costello on the phone the other day, and he was saying, well, he didn't really see a place for him at all there on radio or on television in America. And we kind of feel the same half the time. It's like, you know, if you don't fit into this kind of sausage factory, then, you know, you just become a kind of cult band, which is fine. It's just that I like to take things that are radical or a bit sort of anarchic and get them into the living room of the average person. I don't like to have to be part of a cult, a clique all the time. So if somebody wants to see something weird, they go to this special club and they see it, and they're already probably a strange kind of person anyway. That's what I loved in Britain when we released, I don't know if you saw the video, I Love to Listen to Beethoven, which was like the one I said about Annie as a housewife. Well, they actually played that a lot on British television. It was great, because you'd have all these like poppy kind of videos coming on, and suddenly that came on, and we got loads of letters from housewives who actually sort of like had to sit down, and kind of made them get kind of virtually a panic attack or something, because it was like watching their own life go on. And I just think that America's going up its own bum, really, with see, if you don't, we can't get big in America in some ways, because we won't do a deal with Miller Lite or Coca-Cola or any of these people. And if you don't, then it's really hard to tour. I mean, when we tour in America, we kind of break even or lose, whereas a lot of our counterparts have done all these merchandising deals, so they can play bigger places because they've got the double the advertising. And it's, to me, it's like the whole world is going like that, and America's influencing the whole of Europe like that, and everybody's got a deal with somebody else, and it's all linked up, and in the end there's going to be one big deal. And if you're not on the bus, you know, then you'll end up in the backwoods. And but we refuse to do anything like that, and we refuse to put our songs to any commercials or anything like that. And it's a bit like Hollywood scene, isn't it? I mean, you know, you're trying to make a really great movie, and then the Hollywood producers say, yeah, but we've just got to have these Ford cars parked here, you know, and this scene has just got to pan across all the Ford. You know, you think, well, why do you want to do that? And so obviously they've done a deal with Ford, and then the same with, it's every sort of arts, it's creeping into everywhere. I think it's actually destroying the whole of the creative arts industry, you know.
What songs do you feel on this album would make a big hit?
I've no idea.
I mean, you know,
I've no idea. I mean, I sometimes think, oh, they must love that, and then as soon as I get there and I put the radio on, I go, what am I talking about?
It's difficult for us to know what the criterion of taste, you know, the American general public really has, because it falls into so many different categories. So the best thing to do is just make the music that you love. And then if people like it, hopefully, well, you know. I
mean, I could write a song that would be a top 5 American hit in about 10 minutes and play the guitar like that, and Annie could belt it out and call it something like They Built This City on Rock and Roll or something, and it would be, and guarantee it would be a smash, you know, get the right video, loads of models walking around and that kind of thing.
What would be your next single?
I think it's one called Angel, which is like, you know, the depressing one that you mentioned earlier, which is bound to go down well with all the CHR radio stations. It's a great song, I know, but I mean, you can imagine this bubbly DJ's voice, and now, straight after the New Kids on the Block, we have Angel, a song of suicide from Eurythmics.
Do you think there's a difference between Canadian and American tastes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's kind of more of a European influence, broadly speaking.
Well, yeah.
And that must be because of this sort of, why is it?
I think, well, I mean, I think that it's not necessarily just a European thing. It's got its own particular thing, which actually I think Canada's really interesting because it's got the best of a lot of things. Because there are some things about America and Canada that is fantastic, like the phone works and things like that. Or the towels are big and you don't have to sort of like go like this when you're trying to get dried. But it's got a lot of great European things about it, And it's probably, I don't know, because it's got European kind of weather a lot of the time as well. I think weather...
I know, it's because half the people speak French. How many people speak French here? 50%, isn't it? Something like that? It must be something to do with that.
But it's a funny thing that I think places that get cold a lot, people have a lot of time to sit and think.
And get depressed.
And they're not just like kind of on their skateboard, sort of having a milkshake and wondering which kind of Sonny Walkman to buy so they can throw away. And so they actually think about things for a bit, and then they think, hang on, everything's not right. And they start writing about it and doing things about it. It's really funny because I've got a house near the valley in LA, and it's like every time I prepare to go down the street, I put on all these like kind of things to protect me from the valley disease, because I get approached by people and I can see their mouth moving, but I can't quite work out, It's like the lights are on, but there's nobody home, And it's a very strange place. I just nip into a quick record shop and back to the house again. But it is like, there's this film came out called Earth Girls Are Easy or something, and it's meant to be about life, valley girls and that, but I used to think it can't be possibly true, but it is, the kind of things they say, and they have all these sort of shortened expressions like rad and things like this, and it's unbelievable. Anyway, what was the question?
What's next for you, Rhythm?
Well, we're doing all of these gigs till December the 24th, and I think by popular demand we've been asked if we'll do an acoustic album of just songs from the past, because we've been playing live in the set just acoustic, the guitar and Annie sings, and people tend to like this so much that the record company's been getting loads and loads of people writing in, because we did it a few times on TV too, so we might just do for the spring next year like a CD or something of 10 songs on acoustic, which I think it's quite a good thing to do for us right now, because sometimes, we sing with each other or for friends just like that. And I think a lot of people, because we use video a lot and we use all strange ways of putting ourselves about, people don't realise that we actually are first and foremost just songwriters in the way that Paul Simon is, or people like that. And we can just sing our songs on acoustic guitar or on the grand piano, and they stand up as songs, 'Cause a lot of time we do things like this, and all the questions are about Annie and, her image and what she's going to wear and this and that, and it kind of gets frustrating after a while, because we only do things like that to sort of make little...
visual references.
Yeah, visual references, little sort of pastiches, things about the songs. We haven't really got an image as such.
What about your image? Annie's always been the flamboyant one, you've been the quiet one in the background.
Yeah, well, I was...
It's the opposite way around, actually, because, I'm the quiet one, and he's the flamboyant one.
Well,
that's the truth.
In the press, I'm always seen as like, it's like Beauty and the Beast, or Dave, who's like the Scotch Terrier or something, and, it's always been described that I was like this kind of ragamuffin in the background, or the mad professor or something. And I didn't mind, because Annie's the front person singing the songs, and it's good for a focal point, for any band. It's hard if there's like two people, it's confusing. But about 2 years ago, I woke up and I just got like fed up of looking the same. So I just went to the barber. I just got married, so it was much to my wife's horror. Came back with like black hair, no beard, everything completely different all in one go. And I'm just recovering gradually.
What's your natural hair color?
Oh.
Pink, isn't it?
Actually, it's probably white by now. I haven't looked. But all the strain I've been under. But it was kind of blondishy. It's about, nobody in this room's got the same colour. Oh, it's about Tony Quinn's hair colour. About like that.
When you started, when I started listening to the Eurythmics, a lot of the music was very like classically influenced and everything like that. Then you started moving into this more rocky type of sound. Who brought in that? Whose passion is that between the two of you to get into that hard guitar?
Well, I mean, obviously.
Well, I don't play guitar, do I? It's kind of obvious.
I don't think we've ever made any rock tracks. It's been more sort of R&B, Stax kind of thing. And I sometimes like that, you know. I like those, and the Kinks. I used to like the Kinks and their kind of guitars, because I'm not really a guitarist, you know, like there's a tour going at the moment with Jeff Beck and Jeff Healey and Stevie Ray Vaughan and people who are all fantastic guitarists, but I'm more a fan of riffs and one-note kind of solos, like Neil Young, you know, at the time of, what was that album with the Southern Man on, you know, where he plays a solo that's one note for a minute and a half or something, but the note gets more and more intense, you know. And I'm more of a fan of that kind of thing. I mean, you know, I am a guitarist first and foremost. That's what I've always done. I've, you know, written songs and played the guitar. And a lot of the time, people used to think I was a keyboard player in a computer whiz, and I really used to laugh. In America, I'd be on the front of like Personal Computer magazine. I haven't got a clue how to operate one. And I was on the front of Keyboard magazine, and I know about 5 chords, which every song's like written with the same 5 chords, like back to front or like this way. And
Sellotape stuck on.
yeah, and I was telling the interviewer, you know, I was saying, no, I really can't play. And the interview came out like I was like bloody Beethoven or something. I had all of these, you know, fancy equipment and things. I don't know where he got the information from, but I'm absolutely useless at all that. What I am good at is finding people who are really brilliant at it and saying, can you do that? And then they'll sit and do that for hours.
You both worked on outside projects since your last album, Savage. How has that affected this album? What has it brought to it?
Well, I haven't really done anything. He's done all the stuff, all the mayhem.
You do it without Green.
Well,
Yeah, that's not,
well, it wasn't.
you know.
It wasn't that sad, but I mean, I had to do that duet with Al Green. You no idea what happened there. Annie was in Scotland, Al Green was in Memphis, and I was trying to produce the record, and neither of them could move from where they were for different reasons. And it was like a really complex thing, because her vocal was on tape and Al Green was meant to sing in between the lines. And so I get there and he starts singing all over Annie's bit and saying, oh, this record's great for one person. I'm going, hang on, but it's a duet. And it was really complex to get it to seem like they were both together in the same room. But and it must have been even more weird for Annie making a duet with somebody she still hasn't met. Is that true?
Yeah, I haven't met him yet.
Actually,
I've been in a video with him as well, though.
and she was in a video with him and he still wasn't there. But I actually have struck up a funny relationship with him, and I'm actually filming him in his church in Memphis in about a week's time in this TV program series I'm busy making. But yeah, speaking personally, I've had a very strange and wondrous life over the last 10 years, meeting all these people who I would never imagine to meet. You know, when I was about 12 and they used to steal my brother's records in Sunderland, where I come from in England, it's like Bob Dylan's first album, and sort of sneak his guitar and learn a few songs, and, you know, all the old Beatles first stuff and the Stones. And then gradually over the last 10 years I've met and probably worked with nearly all of them, and it's been amazing, really. I would never have thought it, you know.
How have all those projects affected your work with Maggie?
It's completely ruined it, hasn't it? No, I mean, doesn't really affect it all that much. All I do is sometimes I learn things, and sometimes I do tongue-in-cheek reference things, like on I Need a Man. I just, I think Mick was there, wasn't it, when we were putting it down at the chateau. We were in this place in the middle of France, and Mick Jagger was there, and he was sort of egging me on, And, there's little reference points to Beatles things in a song called Shame. And sometimes I read reviews and say, sounds like the Beatles or sounds like the Stones, and I think, you're mad, because, of course it does. I'm doing it on purpose. It's like pointing a finger at things when they were really good, In my mind, anyway.
After the soundtrack of 1894, would you like to do...
1984.
Yeah, 1980, yeah. Would you like to do music for a movie again?
Yes, you've done it.
I just did one actually about 6 months ago, and the movie's just coming out in Holland. But it's a movie made by a Dutch film director, and it's just like a low-budget Dutch movie. But actually, the theme of it was a duet between me and a girl saxophone player, just an instrumental, and it went straight in at #1 there, which was the first time in the history of their radio or something like that. And it was great fun. Later, that girl sax player was snapped up by Prince, and she's in that new video of him where he says, "When I want sax, I ask for candy," that's her name, and completely blew her whole career in one fell swoop.
Any more questions?
Been together for the better part of a decade. You're up to album number 8. Let's think the unthinkable. Will there ever come a time when Eurythmics will end and each one of you will go off your own separate ways?
Well, don't know really. What do you think?
I have no idea. I mean, every time we make an album, Annie says, "That's the last album I'm ever making," and and then there comes the next album, and she wants to do it again. It's a